Chair Justice from the Martin Collective in Winnipeg, and he would like to add a few words and have open discussion.
I'll keep this super quick, try and preface a dialogue. I really want to focus on the ideas of opportunity and strategy. It seems like, obviously, everyone agrees on what we don't want with capitalism and markets as our allocator, as our mechanism of generating prices. And I actually think there is a pretty tight-knit agreement on what you guys actually do want, as much as it may not seem like you want to admit it. Economic democracy is an all-encompassing term. It seems that is our goal of participants here. Economic autonomy, economic democracy, whether or not that's more or less commodity-based, more or less industrial, technological, there's more solidarity approach to economics or a value-based approach to economics. Economic democracy seems like what we're reaching for. So I think it's a critical opportunity with the recent convulsions of capitalism. I think identifying capitalism in popular discourse is incredibly important. It's identifying it as something, as one thing, and by identifying it as something, it means that there's something else. It's expanding popular discourse. At least since the 1980s and the popular mantrification of the idea that there is no alternative, there's been almost no popular audience for the ideas of socialism or economic democracy in general. So I think it is now, with this crucial opportunity, with this possible temporary opening of discourse in economics, that we need a program for economic democracy that is neat, presentable, and achievable. And I personally do advocate participatory economics, personally, as a mechanism capable of generating prices without the market mechanism, capable of facilitating exchange within and between communities. But either way, it's like if we have a basic consensus here on what we want, economic democracy, what's our strategy? I interpret the socialist approach as more of a state-based strategy. I interpret let's call it the anarchist approach as what you might call more federalist, grassroots democracy-based strategy. So from what I've experienced and discussed and read, I've identified strategy as two broad currents, the federalist and the state-based approach. And I mean, as far as the state goes, it's not inconceivable that the people who control power in a state could seize power in a state or through an election and essentially drastically and radically alter our economy, possibly implement participatory economics. But the question then I bring up is the state consistent with the principles of our goals? Does the state embody self-management, equality, diversity? If it does not, then a dilemma arises. How do we use a transitional strategy that isn't consistent with our goals? So I personally advocate what I would call a federalist strategy deriving from the traditions of syndicalism and radical anarchist organization, and I believe that through uniting worker councils, federating producers and consumers, we can, in a more participatory manner, in a prefigurative manner, apply strategy to achieving economic democracy. So that's sort of the spectrum of discourse that I've been looking at for strategy is simply that between a grassroots federalist bottoms-up approach and a top-down centralized state approach. So maybe we can depart into a dialogue based upon that. Thank you.
Back to 12, that was good. Sure, so we did all the 4 talks and 5 talks in an hour, so that's great. So what I'd like to do, because we have a large audience here, we have half an hour, rather than just doing one question at a time, people can either make short comments, different perspectives, or questions. Why don't we take 4 or 5? I'll take notes, and then maybe each of the person, Charley, feel free to take part, can maybe answer one or two of the questions posed. Is that okay? Okay, so, and I'll try to have some gender balance in calling on people too.